Hey everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive. You know we always bring you the latest and greatest in science and tech, and today is no different. We're going deep into the world of AI in medicine.
AI in medicine. That's a pretty hot topic right now,
It
right?
is, and we're going way beyond the hype. We've got a whole stack of fresh research papers, and trust me, this isn't your typical dry medical jargon. We're going to uncover the surprising findings, the disagreements between researchers, and the things that make you go, huh, I never thought of that.
Sounds like fun. So where do we start?
Well, to really understand what's happening, we need to start with the foundation. We need to talk about large language models, or LLMs.
LLMs. Okay, I've heard that term thrown around. But what exactly are they, and why are they so important in medicine?
Think of them as incredibly powerful computer programs that can process huge amounts of information, like medical textbooks, research papers, you name it. And get this, they can even generate text that sounds just like a human wrote it.
Wow, so it's like having a medical student who's instantly absorbed every piece of medical knowledge ever written.
Yeah, kind of. But here's where it gets interesting, and we need to dive into some of the research. A study by Munangi and, well, a whole bunch of other really smart folks found that these LLMs can be a bit like, how can I put this? Overachievers. They can spit out so much information that it's hard to tell what's actually important.
Oh, I see. So it's not just about having access to information, but also about filtering it and making it useful for doctors.
Exactly. Imagine getting a medical report that's like a mile long, full of technical terms that even doctors struggle to understand. Not exactly helpful for making quick and accurate decisions, right?
No, definitely not. In medicine, every second counts, and accuracy is paramount.
Couldn't agree more. And that's why researchers are working so hard to make sure that these LLMs provide information that's both comprehensive and, this is key, easy to understand. But you know what? There's one area where AI is already making a huge impact and addressing this issue head on.
I'm all ears. Which area is that?
Radiology. Think about it. Radiologists spend hours analyzing images, looking for those tiny details that could point to a diagnosis. It's incredibly detailed and important work.
It is. And it's also a field where AI can really shine, right?
Absolutely. Acosta, Dogra, and their team did a really fascinating study where they actually gave radiologists AI-generated draft reports to work with.
Interesting. So the AI was like a first pass, trying to analyze the images and flag anything that looked unusual.
Exactly. And the results were pretty amazing. The AI significantly sped up their workflow, and get this, it didn't compromise accuracy.
Wait, so the AI was as accurate as a human radiologist?
That's what the study found. It's like having an AI assistant who can do the heavy lifting, highlighting potential issues so the radiologist can focus on the most critical parts of the image.
That's incredible. It frees up so much time for the radiologist to really focus on what matters most.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about something. How do we know the AI is making the right calls? I mean, were the radiologists just blindly trusting what the AI was saying?
That's such a good question. And honestly, that's something I think about a lot with AI in medicine. Trust is huge. And in this study, they actually used GPT-4, which is another type of LLM, to introduce what they called realistic AI errors into those draft reports.
Oh, that's clever. So it was like a test to see if the radiologist would catch the mistakes.
Exactly. It was a way to see how they'd respond to imperfections in the AI's output. You know, in the real world, AI isn't going to be perfect 100% of the time, just like humans, right?
That's such an important point. Building trust in these AI systems is crucial, especially when we're talking about something as important as healthcare. But let's be honest, it's not just the doctors who need to understand what's going on. Patients need clear information too, right?
Absolutely. And you know those super technical radiology reports that are full of medical jargon? I bet we've all seen a few of those, and they're not exactly patient-friendly.
Nope, not at all. But you know what? Researchers are tackling that problem head on too. I read about this really cool AI system called Re-Explain. It's being developed by Luo, Veravamurthy, and a whole team of researchers.
Explain. Okay, tell me more.
So this system takes those dense, jargon-filled reports and turns them into easy-to-understand videos for patients. They even use these really engaging avatars to explain everything.
Seriously, AI that can translate doctor speak into something we can actually understand? That's amazing. How many times have you left a doctor's appointment feeling like you need a medical dictionary just to decipher what they said?
Way too many times. And that's what's so cool about Re-Explain. It combines medical language simplification, image segmentation, and avatar technology all in one.
That's brilliant. It's really thinking about the patient experience in a whole new way.
It is. It's really exciting to see researchers thinking outside the box like that. And you know what? It's not just about static images anymore. AI can now analyze data over time, which opens up a whole new world of possibilities. We're talking about longitudinal data.
Ooh, longitudinal data. That sounds intriguing. Tell me more about that.
Well, imagine having an AI that's like a medical detective, piecing together your entire health history, from blood tests to imaging scans.
Yeah.
This AI can track how your health has changed over the years, potentially spotting trends or warning signs way before a human might notice.
Wow, that's like having a personalized health record that can predict potential problems before they even happen.
Exactly. And there's this really interesting AI framework called HCLLM that's specifically designed to do this kind of longitudinal data analysis. It was developed by Liu, Wang, Hu, and, well, a whole team of brilliant minds.
HCLLM sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right? But here's what I find really cool about it. They built in these special constraints to make sure the AI's output is consistent with the patient's actual medical history. So it's not just about crunching numbers, it's about making sure the AI's conclusions make sense in the context of that individual patient's journey.
That's a game changer. It's like having an AI that truly understands each patient's unique story.
Absolutely. And as AI becomes even more sophisticated, we can expect to see these personalized approaches become even more powerful and accurate.
This is all super exciting. But I have to ask, this is the deep dive after all. What are some of the challenges researchers are facing as they develop these AI systems? Because I'm sure it's not all smooth sailing.
Oh, you're definitely right about that. There are definitely challenges, and some big ones too. One of the biggest is ensuring that these AI systems work for everyone, regardless of their language or background. That's something we're going to explore much deeper in the next part of our deep dive.
Oh, now you've got me hooked. I can't wait to hear more about that.
It's a fascinating topic, and we're just getting started.
So before we moved on, you were saying something about making sure these AI systems work for everyone, right? No matter what language they speak.
Yeah, exactly. It's a huge challenge. I mean, think about it. AI models need data to learn, tons of data. But what happens when that data isn't available in every language?
Right. We don't want AI that only works for English speakers. That would be a disaster.
Exactly. It would exacerbate existing healthcare disparities, especially in low and middle-income countries where access to technology and resources is already limited. So researchers are looking at ways to make these AI models more inclusive, and one really promising area is using a combination of federated learning and, get this, retrieval augmented generation, or RG for short.
Federated learning and RA. Okay, I have to admit, those are new ones for me. Break those down.
Sure. So imagine instead of sending all the patient data from all over the world to one central location to train the AI, we send the AI model on a world tour. It goes from hospital to hospital, data set to data set, learning from each one without actually taking the data away.
Wait, so the AI is like a traveling medical student going from place to place, soaking up knowledge. That's pretty cool.
It is. And that's the beauty of federated learning. It allows AI models to learn from diverse data sources without compromising patient privacy. It's a game changer for global healthcare, really. And then there's ARG. ARG is like giving that traveling AI student access to the biggest medical library imaginable. So let's say a doctor's using an AI system to help diagnose a patient. With ARG, the AI can instantly search through a massive database of medical knowledge, pulling up the latest research, guidelines, everything, right there in real time.
So it's like having a super-powered research assistant at your fingertips. You combine that with federated learning, and it seems like we're talking about some seriously powerful AI systems.
You are. And the best part is, it has the potential to make AI-powered healthcare accessible to more hospitals and patients worldwide, not just those in wealthy countries. It's a truly exciting prospect.
It's like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's happening right now. Of course, there are always going to be challenges with new technology, right? I mean, even with all these amazing benefits, I'm sure there are some hurdles to overcome.
Oh, absolutely. For instance, security is a big one. We need to make sure that these AI models are protected from hackers and cyber attacks, especially when we're dealing with sensitive patient data. And then there's the challenge of making sure the AI can actually combine all this knowledge it's gathering from such diverse sources. I mean, we're talking about different languages, different healthcare systems, different ways of doing things. It's a complex puzzle.
I can only imagine. Speaking of complex puzzles, how do we even measure how well these AI systems are doing? I mean, we're talking about people's health here. There's no room for error.
Absolutely. And that's where things get really interesting, because we can't just rely on traditional evaluation methods. We need something more sophisticated. And that's where ACE-M3 comes in.
ACE-M3, another acronym. What does this one stand for?
It stands for Automated Comprehensive Evaluation of Multimodal Medical Models. It's basically an automated system that's specifically designed to test and evaluate these new super complex AI models.
Multimodal medical models. So we're not just talking about AI that understands text anymore.
Nope. These multimodal models can handle information from all sorts of sources: images, videos, audio recordings, you name it. Think about an AI that can look at your medical history, analyze your latest x-ray, even listen to the tone of your voice during a consultation.
Wow. That's incredible. It's like an AI with super senses, picking up on all these subtle clues that even a human doctor might miss. But how do you even test something that complex?
Well, that's the genius of ACE-M3. It uses a combination of different techniques to evaluate these models quickly and accurately. And get the way it judges the AI aligns with how expert human doctors would judge it. So it's like having a panel of top specialists constantly monitoring the AI, but without actually having to pull those doctors away from their patients.
It's like a quality control system for medical AI. I love it. And this makes me think about the future of medical education. If AI can do all this, can it also be used to train doctors? I mean, could it help them learn faster and better?
You're absolutely on the right track. Remember Evo Patient, that AI system we talked about earlier that simulates patient symptoms for training? Well, that's really just the tip of the iceberg. Researchers are exploring how AI can personalize the learning process for each medical student, tailoring it to their individual strengths and weaknesses. So no more one-size-fits-all lectures. It's like having a personal AI tutor who knows exactly how you learn best. Exactly. And it's not just about making learning more efficient. AI can also help medical students develop critical thinking skills and learn how to work alongside AI in a clinical setting.
Wow. We've covered so much ground today. It's amazing to see how AI is changing healthcare in so many ways. But before we move on, I think it's important to step back and look at the bigger picture. I mean, what are some of the key takeaways from all this incredible research?
Well, I think one of the most important things to remember is that AI isn't here to replace doctors. It's a tool, a very powerful tool, but still just a tool. It's about enhancing what doctors can do, not replacing them altogether.
It's like giving them a superpower.
Exactly. AI can help them process information faster, see patterns they might otherwise miss, make more informed decisions. Ultimately, it's about improving patient care, making diagnoses more accurate, treatments more personalized, and hopefully outcomes much better.
And it's not just about the quality of care, right? It's also about accessibility.
Absolutely. AI has the potential to revolutionize how healthcare is delivered, especially in underserved communities. Imagine AI-powered diagnostic tools being used in remote villages or virtual assistants, providing basic healthcare advice to people who don't have access to a doctor.
That's incredible. It's like bringing world-class medical expertise to everyone, no matter where they live.
Exactly. And it's not just about giving people access to information. It's about empowering patients to take control of their own health. Imagine AI-powered apps that can track your symptoms, give you personalized advice, connect you with a doctor if you need one.
It's like having a personal health coach right in your pocket. But with all this potential, I think it's also important to remember that AI is a double-edged sword. Like any technology, it can be used for good or for bad.
You're absolutely right, and that's why it's so crucial to have these conversations, to talk about the potential risks and benefits, to make sure we're developing and using AI responsibly.
Well said. This has been an incredible journey so far, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. But hold on, there's still more to explore.
Oh yeah, we're not done yet. In the final part of our deep dive, we're going to look at some even more cutting-edge research and explore some of the really big questions about the future of AI in medicine. So stay tuned.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We've been having such a fascinating conversation about AI in medicine. We've seen how it's changing the game in radiology, how it can help doctors make better decisions, and even how it's making healthcare more accessible around the world.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground. But there's one thing we haven't talked about yet, and it's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
How do we know what's going on inside these AI systems?
That's a good point. I mean, we've been talking about all these amazing things AI can do, but if we don't understand how it's actually working, how can we really trust it?
Exactly. And that brings us to the concept of explainability.
Hmm.
Right now, a lot of AI models are kind of like black boxes. We feed them data, they spit out answers, but we don't always know how they got there.
So it's like you go to a doctor and they give you a diagnosis, but when you ask, how did you figure that out? They just shrug and say, magic.
Pretty much. And in medicine, that's not really good enough, right?
Mhm.
We need to be able to trust the decisions these AI systems are making, and that means understanding how they're thinking.
Absolutely, especially when we're talking about people's lives and well-being. So how do we open up these black boxes? How do we make AI more transparent?
Well, researchers are working on a bunch of different approaches. One really cool idea is to develop tools that let doctors see what parts of a patient's data the AI is focusing on. Like, imagine being able to highlight the specific parts of an X-ray that the AI is using to make its diagnosis.
Oh, that would be amazing. It's like giving the AI a way to show its work so we can follow its logic.
Right. And another approach is to develop algorithms that can generate explanations of the AI's thought process in plain English. So it's not just about showing what data the AI is using, but also explaining why it's using that data and how it's arriving at its conclusions.
So it's like giving the AI a voice so it can explain itself to us humans.
Exactly. And we've talked a lot about AI improving diagnosis and treatment, but what about the research side of things? Can AI help us discover new treatments faster?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, finding new cures and therapies takes a lot of time and resources. Can AI speed up that process?
Absolutely. And it's already happening. One area where AI is making a big impact is in drug discovery. Researchers are using AI to analyze huge data sets of chemical compounds, looking for potential candidates for new drugs. It's like having an AI-powered chemist working 24/7.
Wow, that's incredible. And what about clinical trials? Can AI help make those more efficient too?
You bet. AI can help with everything from designing better trials to recruiting the right patients to analyzing the results.
Mhm.
It's really about optimizing the whole process so we can get new treatments to the people who need them faster.
This is all super exciting. It feels like AI is really revolutionizing healthcare from top to bottom, from the doctor's office to the research lab.
It really is. And what's even more exciting is that we're really just at the beginning of this journey. I think the next few years are going to be even more transformative as AI becomes even more sophisticated and integrated into healthcare.
I can't wait to see what the future holds. It's clear that AI has the potential to make a huge difference in people's lives, but we also need to remember to use it wisely and ethically.
Couldn't agree more.
Mm.
It's up to all of us to ensure that AI is used for good, that it benefits all of humanity.
Well said. This has been such a fascinating deep dive into the world of AI in medicine. We've covered so much ground, from radiology to drug discovery to the ethics of AI. It's clear that AI is already changing healthcare in profound ways, and the future is full of possibilities.
It's been a pleasure exploring all this with you. And to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery. We hope you learned something new, and we encourage you to keep exploring this amazing world of AI and all the ways it's shaping the future of healthcare.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into AI in medicine. We'll be back next time with another exciting topic. Until then, stay curious, keep learning, and keep asking questions.